Hey, joyful wife. Thanks for joining me again. Have you ever felt like you're having the same argument with your husband over and over and over again? And sometimes maybe it's even different details. One day it's about the dishes, the next week it's about being late or time management. Then maybe it's money, and then it's back to the dishes, and you walk away thinking, oh my goodness, we just talked about this. Why are we here again? I feel you. And I will tell you, I have learned something that has made a big difference in my marriage and my communication. And I don't want to say a huge breakthrough moment, but it was definitely a breakthrough moment. So, what clicked for me is when I was standing in my laundry room and I was absolutely furious. Like, I felt like I was boiling inside because the dryer buzzer went off. And I was like, I'm going to see if he gets it because I've been home all day with this child and I have been doing everything around the house. And I also work from home. And I just want to see if he even cares to go get the laundry out. So that way it's one less thing that I would have to do. And guess what? He did not. So what did I do? Open up the dryer, aggressively grab all the clothes and throw them on the bed and slam the dryer shut because I was just livid. I had all kinds of thoughts going through my mind. I didn't want to argue with him again because I was tired of arguing. It was like 6 years into our marriage. I felt like every day it was just arguing and both of us walking on eggshells. So I sat down and I wrote all like just everything that I was thinking. It was a whole page, but I'm just going to break it down to a few things. I was thinking he doesn't care about me. He expects me to do everything. I'm not important to him. He's selfish. He's being lazy. He doesn't even care at all. If he loved me, he would do it without me having to ask. Like, hello, it's common sense. That's the things that were going through my mind. I showed him this page and I just said, look, I want to take responsibility for everything that's going on for me, but I want you to see what is going on in my mind. So you have an idea of why I'm reacting the way that I am. And he just said, oh my gosh, I had no idea you were thinking like this. And I never put it together that me not helping with the laundry meant I didn't care or love or even appreciate you. And I just took a deep breath because that's when I realized we're not fighting about laundry. We're not fighting about household chores. So the real reason why people keep having the same fight, here is part of what I learned is people are arguing over surface issues and not root issues. So surface issues would be things that you can visibly see, household chores and responsibilities, money and maybe spending decisions, being late or any time management. Maybe it's technology use and phone usage. Maybe it's even parenting decisions. But root issues are what you're really fighting for. They're that deeper emotional need that we don't even know we're asking for. We also don't know how to ask for it, but that's really what we're looking for. And they don't know how to give it to us because they don't know what we're asking for. And those are things like the need to feel valued and appreciated, the need to feel like partners and not roommates, the need to feel heard and understood, the need to feel loved and cherished, and, things like the need to feel secure and prioritized in the marriage. So here is the typical cycle that keeps you stuck in the same arguments or arguments about different things, but just continuously arguing. You have a root need that goes unmet. So that's like feeling appreciated. You have a surface issue that triggers you, like dishes in the sink or laundry in the dryer. So you argue about that surface issue. Like, you never freaking help. Like, I just want help. So maybe the surface issue gets resolved temporarily, like he helps with the clothes or the dishes in the sink, and you briefly feel better. Problem solved, right? Until the next time. The root need is still unmet, and you still have feelings of feeling unappreciated. So a new surface issue triggers you once again, then you're arguing over the same thing and you just keep repeating and repeating and repeating this cycle. You're trying to meet a need for, say, appreciation through dishwashing, but dishwashing can't actually make you feel truly valued and cherished. So let me give you some other examples. You've got a messy kitchen. So the surface issue is dishes left in the sink overnight, which used to be a big deal to me. I have lowered my standards and I'm okay with it. So the root issue is that you need to feel like partners and like you're sharing the household responsibilities. What you're asking for is the need to feel valued and supported. Feeling supported is huge in a marriage, but a lot of times we don't know we're asking for that. We just think we're asking, oh my gosh, just help me clean the kitchen. Another one would be using the phone during family time. So the surface issue may be he's on the phone during dinner. And the root issue is that you need to feel prioritized and important, and also your children or whoever else is in that same vicinity. So what you're really asking for is, I need to feel like I matter more than your phone distractions, more than memes. Another example could be maybe you had plans to go on a date and the plans got canceled. So the surface issue is he had to work late and he cancels your date. And the root issue you're wanting to feel is that you need to feel secure and prioritized in his life and like a higher priority than extra work. What you're really asking for is, I need to feel like our relationship is important to you. So, do you see the pattern? The surface issues is what you argue about, but the root issue is what you're actually really wanting. So, here's a question that can change everything for you. And it's when you're about to go into that argument, you are thinking it's the clothes, it's the dry, it's the surface issues. Just stop for a minute and ask what you're really, really asking for. Is it, do I need to feel valued and appreciated? Do I need to feel heard? Do I need to feel like we're partners and we're working together? Do I need to feel secure and prioritized? Do I need to feel respected and honored? That was a big one for my husband because I'm an external processor and I say a lot of words to help me to process through something that I'm working through. And at one point in our marriage, I just was very snarky and he felt very disrespected, but he didn't know how to ask me for that respect during conversations like, hey, I want to hear you, but I also need you to understand that some words trigger me. Can we talk without you using those words? And eventually we got to that point, but it didn't happen right away. So once you can identify the root issue, you can address it directly instead of fighting about dishes for the next, I don't know, 5 years. So what changes when you address root issues and not just the surface? Well, your arguments become shorter. You're resolving the actual problem, not just the symptom that you think you're fighting about. Your solutions last longer. When the root need is met, you don't keep finding new things to fight about. You feel more connected, and your husband finally hears what it is that you really need, and you hear what he needs as well. Your intimacy increases. Something about vulnerable communication really helps me to connect to my husband. And a lot of times when I was arguing over surface issues, I was like, I don't even want to be touched. Like, just leave me alone. And that creates disconnection in your marriage too. But the biggest thing for me was you stop feeling crazy. You realize you're not overreacting. You have legitimate needs and you solve that actual root problem. I remember feeling all the time, oh my gosh, I overreact so much and then I regret what it is that I say because I just felt like I exploded because I didn't know how to ask for what it was that I wanted. Something that you can practice is, before reacting to that surface issue, pause and ask yourself, what am I really asking for? And then identify one reoccurring argument and ask, what root need am I trying to meet through a surface issue? And then you can notice the cycles. Like, how does the arguing about the surface temporarily make you feel better? But at the same time, that need will show up in a different way, maybe with a different argument later on. And of course, I always like to remind, our husbands are not mind readers. Wives, you are not mind readers. Your husband, just give him the benefit of the doubt that he might not genuinely know what it is that, maybe dishes represent support for you or teamwork or togetherness. So when you communicate that need, he finally can feel like he has something to address. So it's not about never having needs. It's really about communicating what you actually need, because maybe later in a different season of your life, you'll find something else that you're like, oh, I never really knew that that's what I was asking for, but now I know how to ask for it. And you can look within, learn something about yourself. Your husband can learn something about you. You can learn something about him. And then it becomes this beautiful connection. So thanks so much for connecting with me. I am so glad if that helped you. Please leave me a comment below. Other than that, I'll see you next time.